and on 7th, which is 6 days after the date, the budget was read out by the finance minister in the parliament, joint session of the parliament. And normally all the budget program starts on 2nd and finishes on 3rd. But then when the president, R.K.CHHAJER, told me that it will be students who would be participating, then I couldn't resist myself, because what we do is talking to corporates and the tax experts and such things. And by this time, by 3rd, everyone is aware of what has happened, and we have already done the post-mortem. But coming to you, such a gathering or young minds, I feel actually so nice that I have never been able to address. And being with you also give me a kind of a kick. And I go back 50 years, not 50 years, 45 years back, when I was a student like you, never had this opportunity of getting addressed by someone from the industry, you see. And in fact, it's coinciding that on 6th of February, I celebrated my 50 years of passing out from the school. So that makes still more interesting for me that I am among the students, you see. So, without much ado, I would, of course, ask the fellow panelists to come and speak on their areas. But one thing that I should, I think, correct Dr. Vishwas. He said 50% of the budget goes for the interest repayment. I think you've got your facts wrong. Please check on that. And he also mentioned about Modinomics and Shairim, etc. So I don't know what he meant about that. Possibly the finance minister had made some shairis while she was reading out the budget.
It's not that I keep on doing shairis, so I said that today is the...
So I correct myself. But since Nirmala Sitharaman also read out some shairis, so I thought it was being pointed out towards that. And of course he said that it is personal views on whatever he talked about on the budget. But my opinion is that it's everyone's views, you see. Views were that of the finance minister, aided by the prime minister, but then it might affect us in some way or the other. While I'm with you, the young people, and on few occasions in last 4-5 days, I've been able to, because there was a discussion going on a panel on a television program, which was being anchored by a very senior journalist. There was a kind of argument which I had with my fellow panelists, and that was the budget was very bad, whereas I didn't agree with him. And the main topic of dispute was whether savings have been done away with, and it's an expenditure-related budget. So therein I had to come in and I put my point through. Yes, expenditure-driven budget, but then I was comparing India with America. If they can have an expenditure-driven budget, why can't we have? Why would always be savings? I mean, you're all young minds, and I'm sure you're ready to go. So I would kind of throw a challenge to all of you people that instead of looking for a job elsewhere, why don't you all become entrepreneurs? You see, that was also a point of discussion that day, whether how the employment is going to come from. I said all these people who are coming, 1 crore I'm told is a figure which come out of the institutions, universities every year. So half of them, if they become employers, they will take care of other 4 people with them. So in this room, I can very well kind of tell you that you, all of you, please decide that you all would like to become entrepreneurs. After reaching here, I asked Dr. Vishwas, what is the mix of the students that I have that we are addressing today? And I was told it's a mix of engineering and MBAs. So I'm sure, BBAs and MBAs, okay. So I'm sure all the students who are doing the BBAs and MBAs would be the master and bachelors, of course, and they'll be doing masters again. So you all should be looking for becoming entrepreneur. He also mentioned about a very high defense budget, Dr. Suja Vishwas. And we know why we have to have such a large defense budget. In fact, I was hearing to a news yesterday, wherein someone was asking someone on a news channel that why Pakistan should have a large defense budget, whereas Pakistan is in doldrums today. So the reasons are simple, that they are trying to access someone and we are trying to guard our areas. So that is the reason that we have a large budget. But nevertheless, the budget, the defense is an area that we have to be focused on year after year after year. And we have to make sure that our defense forces are never feel that they are not taken good care of. About the MSME, since I also lead the FICI's MSME chair of the Eastern region, Dr. Biswas mentioned about 9,000 crore. No, actually it is not 9,000 crores. 9,000 crore is the commitment by the Finance Ministry Government of India to be able to, for the banks to process 2 lakh crores worth of disbursement to the budding entrepreneurs. I am sure with continuity of this kind of a scheme, further in the next few budgets, the things would, they will continue to give more money towards this thing. And this 2 lakh crores, mind you, all of you, that the banks needs to disburse in a scheme called CGTMSE, which gives us the banks not to ask for any collateral security. And I would take some credit for that, because the different forums have been able to pass it on to the people who make the policies, that banks are not coming forward for disbursement of the loans and they ask for collateral securities, and entrepreneurs who are young and who are raring to go, how would they have anything collateral to offer? And the finance minister has been very kind enough to consider that, and that CGTMSE scheme, the loans would be disbursed without any collateral security. So I'll continue to keep on talking. So first I invite Dr. Barua to take us through that what is good in the budget towards the health thing, which a lot of allocation has been made, because health and education are two areas where I think earlier governments have not done enough, but in the last 2-3 years I find the focus is there, and education and health are becoming priority. But of course, given a choice, I would have considered more percentage of allotment for the health and education. But you see, I mean, government can create infrastructure, but do we get professors to impart teaching? Do we get doctors to take care of the health? So that also has to be calibrated so very well that there is no mismatch between the infrastructure as well as your people that who would be leading them. So invite Dr. Barua to please both take us through what has been done for the health department, in the health sector. Dr. Barua.